Jeez. Look, I ain't a professional, but I've bought a lot of bad cars. These are 2 cars that I've got from Facebook. I'm gonna tell you step by step exactly what to spot on a car that you're buying secondhand, usually off a private seller. I'll be honest, yeah, 90% of buying a secondhand car is about the person selling it, not about the car in itself. So if you're texting David on Facebook, you go to view the car and David is coming out of his house and the car's on his drive, that's probably David. But if you're texting David and Daniel comes out, that's probably not David. And that's probably not going to be an honest seller, so there'll be stuff to look out for on this car. So do your homework, look at the Facebook profile or eBay or whatever you're on, look at the profile selling it, make sure it's got friends, photos, make sure it's not an obviously fake profile. How are they speaking? Are they being quite blunt? Are they quite arrogant? These are all things that will reflect on who's selling the car, what kind of owner they were. Then you arrange to meet them at a location. Make sure that location is their house. Don't buy it off Cuzzy at the petrol station or, oh, I'm coming in 10 minutes, the car's parked somewhere else. You've just driven from your house, so why couldn't they have just initially given you the location the car's at? You want to see the car and David selling it. You don't want Daniel to come out, oh, it's my brother's, you know, he works at Mr. T's, he's just finished work. Allow that, bro. That's something dodgy going on. You want to go to a genuinely owned car at their house or work, they come out of the door of the property and they show you the car happily. So don't buy it from undisclosed locations such as myself here, and don't buy a car at night or you're just gonna miss everything. Luckily for me, it is David selling the car. He's come out of his house, that's his house. David's quite minted. He's got a 1.2 Polo. You first things first, yeah, look at the bodywork, make sure no panels are misaligned. They don't come misaligned from factory. I've already spotted some rust there. This rear quarter panel's been resprayed and it's been resprayed terribly. There's a bit of overspray on the light, bumper's been resprayed and it's got some damage on it. There's a dent there. If you don't want any of this stuff, walk away from the car. If you don't mind, use it to bargain, okay? Still point it out. I've got a good memory, so I'm not going to keep track of these, but if you don't have a good memory, take pictures, make a note. Make a note of every single thing wrong with the car. This is misaligned. It's clearly been in a front end. But yeah, just go back a bit. Look at it from the distance. You can usually see the imperfections better. Look, this is loose. This has been resprayed. This has been sprayed over the rust. Scratch there. Ding there. Scuffs on the back. I don't need to point out all of them. We've established the bodywork's not very good on this car. This light's lost its position a little bit. Doesn't mean it's been in a front end crash. It might have just hooked on the bumper and misaligned a little bit. Other than that, I can't spot anything. Little ding there. It happens. It's probably been to a car park. It is a car. Overall, this one's got the better bodywork, but that doesn't mean it's the better car. How to actually confirm if it's been in a crash? First do a HPI check. It tells you if it's been in a crash and recorded. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed not been a crash because it's not recorded, but this has obviously been in one, judging by the bodywork. But for more closure, lift this up. It hasn't got the original spare wheel, it's got nothing. Check if this is all crumpled up, how it is a little bit, because if it is, then it's been in a rear end damage and obviously been repaired. Onto the Mazda, original spare wheel. See, look, this one's all right. It's even got a clamp and everything. Make sure it's got wheel locking nuts as well. You won't be able to get the alloys off. What you're going to do when you need a tyre, same concept on the front. You don't need to be a mechanic for this bit. You see these silver legs here? Make sure it's straight and not been repaired or got welds in it. All the silver bits, basically, the colour of the car, make sure they're all straight. If they're not, it's been in a crash. Not even going to check that one because that one's fine. Like I said, David's selling that one. He's being plain and honest. This is Daniel's car, innit? So we've got to overcheck everything. Check the key remote works. It does not, so we're gonna go old school today. A lot of people like to hide that by showing you the car unlocked when you first start it. Step 2, the mechanical side of things. When you go and view the car, make sure you're telling Daniel and David that you want the car on a cold start. You want it cold. Leave it parked up for a couple hours. If the car makes any funny noises or whines, it's gonna happen when the car's cold, when you first start it up. If they come to you and the car's hot and they've just been on a 100-mile drive, something dodgy going on. So check the tyres, make sure there's a lot of depth on this one, and it's all quite equal as well, so the car's not misaligned. Check the brake disc, make sure there's not a fat lip on it. If the brake's got cosmetics, then that means it needs new discs, and make sure the pads have got a lot of tread on them. The thicker the better for the pads, and the disc, you don't want a fat edge on it because then it's finished. It needs a new one. That's very expensive. So what I usually check in here, check the oil level. Ask the guy for a tissue or rag so you can actually check it. I ain't got one to hand. Make sure it's up to level, but also check the color of it. This is brown, golden. That's fine. It's had its oil changed recently. Again, the car's got to be cold for that. You can't check any of this when the car's hot. Make sure the car's got coolant in. This one does. I ain't gonna overdo this one. I trust this one because everything's been mint. The oil is black on that. Unless it's a diesel, oil not supposed to be black. It needs a change fast. There's too much coolant, so it's obviously just been topped up before sale. Might be a potential leak. Take the oil cap off as well and look at it. You don't want to see any jizz stains because that means water's mixing with the oil and head gasket's gone or going. This one's actually all right. That's the first thing that this car's done well. Round of applause to Daniel. There's one thing right on his car. Yeah, check the coolant. Again, it can't be hot, otherwise it's just gonna explode or be too hot and you won't be able to check it. It won't even be level when it's hot. Smell it, innit? Make sure it's not just water mixed with coolant. Actually, you know what? Put your finger in. It should have a little bit of colour, like it does. That is coolant. It smells of coolant. Make sure the brake fluid is topped up. If it's low, brakes might be on the way out. But then again, someone could just top that up. So check both. Check the actual brakes and the fluid. Make sure there's no oil just anywhere, because there's not supposed to be oil anywhere. This one looks alright, there's actually no oil. If your car's got a timing belt, make sure it's not corroded. But if it looks like a used condom, that needs a new timing belt, and that's going to be another expensive bill for yourself. So either walk away or use it to bargain. Depends who's buying it, really. Also, look out for zip ties, because that usually means bad. Okay, now let's see if the car actually works, innit? So you get your key, or your keys, try get 2. First, turn the ignition on. Make sure all the lights come on, including the engine light. If the engine light doesn't come on, it's been blanked or the bulb has been taken out. This one's alright. Turn it on. Make sure everything works. Don't be shy, bro. Turn the heater on 4. If it's not working 4 and giving out hot air, thermostat on its way out. Literally everything. This is the easy part. AC, aircon. Let's see if the AC is working. I imagine it won't be, just judging by the condition of the car. While you're here, check the service history, which I've not bought today. Look at the service history, see what's been serviced. That will confirm your brakes, your timing belt, what's been done to the car. And during this time, also check the logbook. Make sure it says Daniel on it, or Daniel in his case. Make sure the address matches where you've come to, and make sure that it's not been in a previous accident or previous salvage or rare tear tear. It will also say that on the front of the logbook. And most importantly, make sure that logbook is for the car you come into view. No way. The aircon is working, boys. Surprise, surprise. So mechanically, this is all right. Oh yeah, keep your lights on and then walk around the car and make sure they're all working. That rear quarter panel, bro, allow it. Anyway, that's missing. But does the seatbelt still go in? Yeah, that's fine with me anyway. If you don't like that, use it to bargain, bro. It's all on the bio. Right, test drive. I'll be honest, yeah, if you're quite a timid person, people talk you into things and afterwards you regret it and you realise, oh, that guy's played me again, it's happened again. I don't recommend going to view a second-hand car by yourself. Go with someone who's not timid, or just make yourself more confident. And I say this on a test drive because this is ultimately what confirms if you're buying the car or not. If the seller's coming with you and he's talking rare tear tear, or he's got the radio on full blast, that's a red flag. Tell him to shut up, turn the radio off, open the window, make sure they're working of course, and listen to the car if it's making any silly knocks and bangs. If you've got a manual, put it into gear 1. Don't use any throttle, just come off the clutch slowly. If you hit the biting point quite early, you got a good clutch. If the biting point's quite high up, bad clutch on its way out. Try and move off without the accelerator. Does it move off? It does. So the clutch is not brand new, but it's still got some life in it. Turn the steering all the way, turn it all the other way, and go over a bump on full lock. If the steering's rattling or making any noise it shouldn't do, the steering's not meant to make a noise, that's very expensive. I'd personally walk away. You know how to drive a car. If it's making a noise it shouldn't do, don't let the seller justify it. Like I said, don't be manipulated by words. Go over some bumps, don't avoid the potholes, and listen for noises. This is a very bumpy road. No squeaks, no knocks, no bangs that you shouldn't be making. This car's alright. Make sure it reverses. Get up to speed a bit. Give it some speed and then firm on the brakes. Make sure it's not pulling to any sides or rare tear tear, because that could be a suspension issue or brake issue. The brakes might be sticking. When you brake, it's meant to go straight. Don't do what I did. Brake on a flat ground, not on a bump. Obviously, it's not going to go straight. But yeah, that's a short test drive for the sake of this video. Make sure you get up to speed. Another way to check the brakes, yeah, without being too mechanical, is just to use them. Make sure they're not making any noise. These ones were silent. It stopped pretty sharp. It didn't turn a certain way. Brakes are fine. Jeez! Oh my god, the wheels lifted, mate. A Mazda 2, not a good track car. Test this one, innit? Why not? We already know it's going to be fresh. Yeah, that's alright, that's blessed. I like it. I like the Mazda 2. Oh, I missed my turning. Now look at the floor where the car was parked before. Is there any immediate oil on the floor? No, then it's alright. If the service history is good and you don't care about bodywork, you just need a cheap runaround, then yeah, that's alright. Oh, this is the wrong key. This is from my other Mazda. I got another Mazda at home, boys. This is what I hate about having all these cars. I can never find the keys. I assume it fell out. Oh, there it is. Also, check the back seat in it rapid. Make sure you can G it in there. That's all right. Pretty tricky. But to be fair, you can G it in a Scirocco, allegedly. Hop in, start it up, steering lock, start it up. Make sure the engine lights come on. Look out for your silly noises, but we all know it's not going to make silly noises, this one. This car's mint. This has got 70k miles and 2 previous owners. Check the biting point again. Oh, this clutch is brand new. This one's very low. Make sure the car comes up to temperature as well. If the car gets too hot, not good. If the car doesn't come up to temperature, also not good. Not as bad though. But yeah, if the clutch is low, that's good. This one's very low, so this has obviously been replaced in recent times. Another way to test the clutch, right? See how strong it is. Put it into gear 5 or 6 or your highest gear. Try and move off in your highest gear. Even if there's pull, look, the car's moving forward now. Can you see? In gear 5, that's a very good clutch. Clutch is good. But I knew this car's good because David's selling it. Pick everything and anything you can. You will probably forget things. I'm forgetting things in this video, but everything and anything. And just because David's car's clean don't mean he's maintained it. David looks after everything. Don't mean he knows how to look after a car. So lift up the spare wheel. No water damage under the water. There's no water in here at all. Fair play, David actually knows what I'm going. That one will have water in the boot, 1,000,000%. Also, get down and dirty on your knees if you really don't trust it. Make sure there's no immediate oil anywhere. And make sure it's not too corroded under there anyway, because that could be expensive, and sometimes that even writes off the car. Yeah, but this car, this one, mechanically it's alright, bodywork's not good. So either walk away or use the bodywork to bargain if you don't care about the bodywork. As you can see, I don't care, that's why it's here. And my final tip is to look at the comments of this video, because there's always someone who knows something I've missed off or knows better than me. It's not really that much if you think about it. It just went on because I've got 2 cars. But if that is too much for you, then don't go on your own. What do you reckon to my Polo though, boys? Wicked or what? Oh, a little bonus track here. One sec, let me shut that door. If you can dump the clutch how you just did there, clutch is fine, mate. But yeah, safe for watching anyway. Like, if you want to see more videos like that of the sort, you're a sort. Sorry. But yeah, if you want to see more videos like that, let me know and we'll do some more.